Welcome back to HPL. We're at the PvP Live Studios in Frisco, Texas. We just saw Superjj take a 1-0 lead here over ErA with a very aggressive draw out of his Paladin deck. And ErA had a lot of stumbling going on with his tempo mage there. Never really got a lot of tempo going. So
yeah, I mean, turn 1 Zombie Chow into Iron Beak Owl on a Mad Scientist was Superjj start versus ErA's, and that is one of the nightmares I think that you can see from a tempo-oriented deck. And then in the mid game, he had a Sorcerer's Apprentice coupled with a Mirror Entity, but then he had 2 Fireballs, a Frostbolt, and a Flame Strike in his hand to back it up. So no action to push forward after that, and the tempo snowballed completely out of control.
Yeah, he got a lot of value out of that Flame Strike, but it just wasn't enough. And then, you know what? We're going to have to find out if he's going to do the same here in Game 2, or is he going to change it up? Superjj versus ErA, Game 2. Let's see if ErA changes it up, stays with Mage. Oh, Superjj is actually moving into what looks like a Warlock deck. And you know what? I think ErA might be playing the Grim Patron deck that's been playing a lot here in HPL lately and putting up a ton of wins.
Yeah, if there's one player I think that's going to incorporate the Shield Block, Shield Slam version into that too, I mean, ErA is definitely one of them. We saw ErA play with Shield Block and Shield Slam, and he also had Shield Maiden. Just mentioned that he thought Shield Maiden was a more consistent threat with the way that the gameplay was trying to work. Liked the change from him. He's 4-1 here at HPL so far. And Superjj, this looks like a handlock deck, but it's still kind of anyone's guess. I mean, this could very easily be a Dragon Warlock deck.
Yeah, it could be easy Dragon Warlock. When you see this Novish Inventor, you know that ErA's playing some form of combo deck, and it just has to be the Grim Patron Warrior deck. Now, if Superjj is playing something like Handlock, a lot of people have said this is the answer to Grim Patron right now, that this is the deck that can beat it.
Yeah, I think if there's going to be a nod to that as well, too, it's having that extra removal in your deck. Something like Shield Block and Shield Slam works very well versus something like Twilight Drakes and Giants. Gives you that extra leverage to make sure that you can make those pushes through the mid game and not get run over by these gigantic threats. And Superjj looks to me like it's still kind of open-ended. I mean, this could very easily be a Dragon Warlock deck still.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of the telltale signs of those decks yet, but ErA got a pretty decent start here. He's got some Armor Smiths, got a Cruel Taskmaster, he's got a Gnomish Inventor to draw some extra cards. He just needs a couple little things, maybe an Acolyte of Pain picked up off the top would be great for him.
Yeah, Imp Gang Boss not often found in Handlock. They want to be committing to life taps early on so they can get those big Twilight Drakes and Mountain Giants on turn 4. So when I see Imp Gang Boss, I expect this to be a little bit more mid-range oriented and not necessarily investing heavily into those kind of spells. Is this a Raging Worgen build?
There's a chance that it might be the Raging Worgen combo deck. I mean, Kranich isn't playing in this match. He's playing later.
Yeah, Kranich played Raging Worgen combo at Worlds, and this may be ErA's kind of twist on what's going on here. The fact that he wants to catch people by surprise. The fact that Grim Patron can be so easily checked by stuff like Handlock, for instance. This may be his big nod to that, where he doesn't have all these kind of clunky cards that you're afraid to play in this matchup. It's just a lot of investment into drawing cards and looking for one gigantic turn where you kill them with Raging Worgen in charge. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, you see Gnomish Inventor and Loot Hoarder. He's got a lot of ways to get in a couple points of damage and draw a ton of cards and find the combos in his deck.
Yep, Superjj is in fact playing Dragon Warlock. That Malygos, a very telltale sign of that one. Looking for big turns. He's already got Emperor Thoros on Malygos and 2 Dark Bombs in his hand, by the way. So this could very easily turn into a couple of very big turns here from Superjj.
Yeah, you're going to see him slam this Emperor Thoros into play next turn. He's looking to have a turn where he gets to play Malygos, and a ton of burn spells are very cheap or free because of Emperor Thoros.
Yeah, ErA actually going to invest and execute into this Imp Gang Boss. Doesn't have an effective way to deal with it otherwise, and this is going to give him some armor in the meantime and put some pressure added to the board as well. So Superjj, a little bit of a board presence building against him, but I think he feels totally fine because of how strong his hand is right now.
Yeah, his hand is so strong going forward. He only needs a couple more pieces to actually finish this game out. He's already got removal in the Dark Bombs if he needs to, or to kill him with Malygos and stuff later. Ooh, his own Emperor Thoros for ErA.
This looks to me like ErA is going to have to do some trading here. It's going to involve Inner Rage. And Superjj, I think, is going to be very happy with that. But something he doesn't know is exactly what this build is yet. I mean, we can see Charge in ErA's hand, and that's a very telling sign of what kind of deck this is. But now he sees Emperor Thoros, and his hand doesn't have a super clean way to deal with this.
Yeah, another thing to talk about right now, ErA is at 45 right now. He has 15 armor. Superjj is going to have to get in other damage than just one of these huge burst turns of Malygos.
Yeah, so it does have Implosion and Dark Bomb that's going to take out this Emperor Thorstein, but he is leaving 1/1s behind that can be taken out by Armor Smith. It's going to pad that life total even more. 2 more being invested in there. Love that he's using the Defender of Argus to protect these 1/1s and
yeah, you don't want to
just happen.
You don't want to just give ErA too much free value here. Oh, there's the Rampage too. He's starting to cobble together the pieces here.
Yeah, Death Spite going to get added to hand, and that's going to come slamming down on the board as quickly as possible. Plenty of life for ErA to leverage in this match so far, and I'd venture to say this Armor Smith's going to sit back. Yep. Force Superjj to be the one attacking here. No reason to give him free damage on your minion.
Yeah, not at all. You don't want to give him too much value here. Now, Superjj, he's got to figure out a way to move forward. He needs to start getting damage and get damage fast. ErA is at 45, as we said, and you're thinking he's Grim Patron Warrior, so you know there at any point in time that all of a sudden this gigantic board is going to come out, especially with a Death Spite charge sitting there. So you're going to see Superjj take care of some of his own take care of ErA's minions here and really start to push here in the next turn or two if he can.
Yeah, a lot of damage being lost here from stuff from the Dark Bombs, and no longer able to combo those with Malagos, of course, but I think he's planning for a longer game here. You know, he's going to have to get some repetitive damage from minions if he really wants to get this job done. And I can tell you what, cards you don't expect to see when you think your opponent's playing Grim Patron, it's cards like Brawl, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. He wants to save as much of his life as he can.
Yeah, when he sees this from ErA, maybe something goes off in the back of Superjj's mind, like, what's going on? He just played a Brawl. Does he just have a Brawl in his Grim Patron Warrior deck? That is a possibility.
Yeah,
so I still think he thinks this is Grim Patron Warrior.
Yeah, with a player like ErA too, it's like a tremendous possibility. You know, we've seen him play some kind of wild stuff in the past, his own twists on decks. I think Superjj is a little bit thrown off by this, and once again, the fact that he's used 2 Dark Bombs right now, a lot of his long-term damage reach has been lost in combination with Malagos. He's going to need to get a lot of minion damage in if he wants to win this game.
Yeah, he's going to have to find a repetitive source of damage and make sure that it sticks for the rest of the game. If ErA ever picks up something like a Shield Slam, he can kill any minion in the game. He has 17 armor right now.
Yeah, it will kill anything indeed. There's a Shield Slam, but it's not any use right now. Just going to keep armoring up and biding his time. I'm curious if he wants to. Going to hang on to this Inner Rage, is looking for that to be a piece of his combo. And Superjj going to continue to steadily add threats to his board and try to find spots where he can get those big damage spots in. And when you have Iron Beak Owl into a 2-point Mortal Coil on an Acolyte of Pain, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, you're denying ErA at least one more draw. Anytime you can deny them draws off their Acolyte Pain, it's a good thing to do in this matchup. In this matchup, you just want to keep them from drawing too many extra cards. ErA had 4 cards last turn and practically passed. So you know that his hand is like maybe a couple of the combo pieces, but doesn't have what he needs to really go off yet.
Yeah, I'm curious if ErA feels like he needs to save this Shield Slam too to maybe push through a big taunt later on, if he wants to start saving himself some damage, because he has no card draw left in his hand. And if that was a Raging Worgen, you know, that might have been enough. It would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that would have been 22 points of damage if that executed said bit of Raging Worgen. Just going to Shield Slam here though and try to buy himself as much time as he can so he can find an opportunity.
I'm not the biggest fan of that Shield Slam there. I think he could have waited. I mean, he's at 49. He doesn't need to really kill an Azure Drake at this point. And after seeing that second Shield Slam, Superjj is going to start to really push a lot of damage here.
Yeah, ErA needs something big, and he needs it now, because this board presence is starting to build. Fiery War Axe going to help chew through this Sludge Belcher, but he needs to find some major ways to put some damage through. I mean, once again, anytime that he finds a Raging Worgen right now, it is lethal because he has enough combo in his hand to make it a 22-point damage swing. So he does have another draw for this unless Superjj finds a way to pad his life total.
Yeah, Superjj, you know, needs to find the second anti-heal bot here to pull himself out of the range of that combo. And you're going to see him just actually start to push for tons and tons of damage here. He knows that it's not just a race of ErA's life total, it's a race of ErA's top deck here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exactly what's going through his head too. So this is going to start being his big push right now. Shield Slam is both gone, so the fact that his armor's getting shredded, no skin off ErA's back, Acolyte of Pain gets added to hand. I mean, does he feel like he needs to interrage this in order to get something done, or is he going to use this to continue to buy more time?
I feel that you can't use the Inner Rage here. Yeah, it gets you an extra card, but it's a piece of the combo you need to actually finish Superjj here. You need to give yourself the chance to draw the Raging Worgen and win from here. I don't think you can just give up a piece here, but unfortunately for him, Superjj has an Iron Beak out to deny him any draws from here.
Yep, so that's going to be denied over, and here comes more damage crashing in. To me, this looks like ErA needs to draw Raging Worgen this next turn, or this is lethal damage from Superjj. He's got Malagos and Soulfire, plus a ton of damage sitting on board, and
there's
that's
the Raging Worgen. Look at the reaction from ErA.
Wow, what a draw. He's had so many turns to draw this Raging Worgen, and then finally, on the very last turn of the game, he's able to do it.
I love the just You can see that he's so relieved. He knew he had this game in the bag over the last 3 or 4 turns. If he just needed to draw one of the 2 Raging Worgens in his deck. He drew so many cards.
Yeah, when we saw it right here, I mean, ErA, we've seen him play a ton of control decks that are trying to grind you out, and he's played some unconventional strategies, but now his unconventional strategies are kind of moving over into the combo territory, and I love seeing this from ErA. He has struggled so much to close the games where he's had an advantage, and now that he's playing a deck that's going to put a lot of pressure on his opponents after he's established that early control, that's where I think he needs to be sitting, because it's difficult to pin him on exactly what combo he's going to play, given the history of decks that he's played so far.
Yeah, just great point, Nathan. That's exactly what happened in this match. You know, he thought Superjj thought he was Grim Patron Warrior. It's still kind of the same kind of idea. You know what I mean? He still needs to push a ton of damage when he can here in this game. You know, Superjj, he knew that he was fading the top cards of ErA's deck there, and ErA drew the Raging Worgen in the last turn. Super exciting game to kick off our night here.
Wow, so this series all tied up at 1 game apiece now. If you guys want to see exactly what happened in this, you can head over to pvplive.net and see for yourself. The full recap, stats breakdowns, everything available from this game and how they played these strategies.
Wow.
It's all tied up at 1 game apiece now, so we're back to the series here. 2 games each for these players if they want to win this match. And when we come back, we're going to be getting into Game 3 and find out who's taken the lead in this match so far. Don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.